Well, it's time for the second instalment of making the front panels for my little Joulemeter project. I've had to wait for a day when it's not raining so that I can come outside and do the drilling. As you can see, I've laid out the template for about 10 of these, so I'm going to make one of these up now. And the first step is going to be to centre punch the holes with my little centre punch to make a little dent so that the drill stays in place when I'm starting to drill. Okay, so that's the main holes. I'm just going to centre punch the bits for the cutout as well. They're not quite so critical. There you go, so that's all the holes centre punched, so I'm going to start drilling them. Right, that's the main holes. Just going to do these ones along here, they're not terribly critical. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave those because they need to be done as 4mm holes. So I'm going to cut out some of these bigger holes first, because it will weaken the whole structure if I take that out, and I don't want it to bend too much when I'm trying to cut out bigger holes. So these two holes are staying as they are, but these two need to be enlarged to, well, they need to be just over 7mm with a little kind of slot cut out of them. So I'm going to use my stepped drill bit, but this stepped drill bit only goes up to, well, it goes 4 and 6, and then the next one is 8, which is a little bit too big. So I will drill it out to 6, and then I'll use a 7mm bit to get it out to 7mm. Just so that rather than trying to do it all in one go, because that tends to make it a little bit off centre. So I'll give it a go with the step drill first. And one helpful thing is that this has got a hex shaft on it, which fits nicely into here and doesn't take as much of an effort to tighten it up to grip it. Right, that to 6mm, quite nicely. Let's do the next one. And that one's at 6 as well. Let's do the ends too. Right, while I've got this drill in, these holes need to be done to 12, which is the biggest size, so let's give those a go. And I've got the squares so that I can try and keep it centralised, because those are for the buttons. looking looking good so far. I might need to actually hold it in place, but that's nicely central. Looks pretty good. Right, let's do the next one. I might actually need to get a clamp to hold it in place though. Meant to happen. That's what happens when I don't hold it in place. Right, one more step. That is dead centre. Flip. Right. I am going to have to hold it with a clamp because it's going to strip my thumb if I'm not careful, as it has done already. Ouch! And having said I should clamp it several times, I've gone and cut my thumb. So let's actually use the Workmate the way it's supposed to be used, so I don't have to get quite so much blood on the front panel. There we go. Right, so I've got to finish this one off. She's done. And then this is the final one. Not too bad, but that one's not so good there. There we go. So they don't look too bad. I've tidied up the edges of those holes by using the next bigger drill bit. So now I'm going to drill out the larger holes to 7mm and then use the countersinking bit to tidy up these kind of manky edges of the other holes. And then I can start drilling out the big rectangular piece in the middle. Brilliant. And underneath as well, and then we're done. There we go, brilliant. So last thing to do is cut out all of these little holes so that I can push out this rectangular shape in the middle, and then I'll have to file the edges down to make it nice and straight. And I'm using a 4mm drill bit so that I don't have to do quite as much drilling. Actually, it feels like it needs to be supported from underneath rather than just at the edges, so I'm going to clamp it to a piece of wood. Yeah, that's supported a little bit better. Right, and I can drill into the wood underneath. think I might be running out of power. Well, the cordless drill has either run out of battery or overheated or something, so I'm having to switch to the mains powered drill, which I probably should have done a long time ago, but it's such a faff running the cable, so I hadn't bothered. I've had this drill well over 20 years, 30 years probably. The drill also runs a bit quicker. Ew. Doesn't seem to be very sensitive. Is that bent? I don't know. Okay, so just these last few to do. It's just this one didn't come out very well. So I need to chisel those out and then I can file it down. There we go. That's that bit out the middle, and just need to file all this stuff down, and that's why it's handy to have left those pencil lines so I can see where I have to file down to. So that's pretty much cut out, and the last thing to do is these large holes have to have a little slot cut out, because I don't know if you can see it on this. This has got a little tiny sticking out bit which has to go into a slot in the hole. So the round part of that is 7mm diameter, and then there's a bit sticking out for about 1mm. So I have to cut a little slot. There we go. Just one little slot. One more. And that is the last slot cut, and hopefully that should push through there. And it does, it just goes through, and you can see the little slot has got the little notch in it. Brilliant. So this just needs a little bit of tidying up around these edges, and that's done.